So a question was asked me to unpack a little bit of what does it mean to be a triune being. Maybe that just kind of flew over some heads a little bit. Well, that's fine because, you know, a lot of what goes on inside of us does not start on the inside, but it starts on the outside. Now, why did I give the book the title, The Exalted Soul? Well, a lot of it had to do around surrounding an idea that you have a broken spirit. Now, the Bible tells us that we've all fallen short of the glory of God. Basically, it's this. You were born a a disconnected human being from your creator because of a sin event that took place that's described in our Bible. But now, there's some of you that don't read the Bible. There's some of you that don't believe in the Christian Bible, so you don't pick it up. So, the foundation for this is biblically based. But if give me some time to help you understand something. You are still human. And because you're human, you do have a spirit. Now, you're born with the spirit that the Bible just refers to it as dead, dormant, disconnected from God. Pick a word, pick a synonym, but here's the fact. You are created in the original design to be a spiritual being that is connected to God. The race of the human being was designed to feed from God. Not just like when you take an apple and you eat it, when you swallow it, the apple is broken down and starts to become part of your physical body. Well, that's not the only part of you that follows that pattern. You were created to have a spiritual aliveness inside of you. And here's how I can actually connect all of our races together. Whether you're female or male, black or white, Asian or Hindu or Muslim, Christian, here's how I can connect all of us together. Because we're all feeding people. We all are designed with hunger. And you all must feed. And you must feed daily. But there is a part of you that is searching. It's hungry for something. But it's not being fed. And so because it's not being fed, there is a search for something. You ever go through your cabinets and you're hungry, you're looking for something. You don't know if you want the chips or you want the gallon of ice cream or you want the ham sandwich. You just start searching. Well, in a larger sense, that's what humans are doing. There was a connection with the original design of God with our race. There was to be an exchange. The creator with the created. You were created to feed the physical. That's why the Bible talks about the trees in a garden, to feed the physical. But the God that created the garden created you to have an interaction with Him, an exchange. And that exchange also provides feeding. But instead of physical food, you are fed aliveness, life. And when the human race separated from the Creator, we separated ourselves from the source of aliveness and also something much worse, and that's where this book comes in. I don't question that many of you have always heard about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's in the book. We'll get there. I don't question that. Here's what I think you may not have ever been introduced to. That when the Spirit died in us, we began to do something. We began to engage our soul, which is our mind, our will, our emotions. We began to engage our soul in response to the absence of our spirit. Instead of connecting with the Creator from a spirit-to-spirit exchange, we now have suppressed the spirit and exalted the soul. We promoted our soul to a position. Number one, it was never designed, nor is it equipped to lead us. You are a spiritual being by the designer that is supposed to be connected to the designer, the creator, with a spirit to spirit exchange, with the soul in submission, and the body housing all three of you. The exalted soul is a story basically of a tragedy that because the spirit is not leading, the soul is now taking upon itself a burden it was not designed for. Folks, if you're a Christian, just go now and take a look at your bookshelf. Mine's right behind this camera. I can show you book after book after book that is written from the exaltation of the soul. We have taken a cognitive approach to a heavenly God, and we have tried to get connected to God by thinking our way there, by connecting to Him through thoughts, reasoning, rationalization, steps, strategies, analytical approaches. All of these by themselves are not evil, but they are the functions of the soul and not the spirit. The spirit operates through faith, is fed through faith. It's fed by God through faith. And we'll look in the book later as we continue to go from video to video at words that are synonyms with the exalted soul. Paul says the word the carnal mind. It's just another way of saying the exalted soul. The flesh is another illustration of it. But this is to answer the question, help me to understand very early, what do you mean by the exalted soul? If you injure your leg, say you break a bone in your leg and you're put on crutches, it's very true that your leg that's broken is damaged, but that's not the extent of the injury. That's not all that's injured, because now the other leg is being demanded to carry more weight. It's demanded upon it to perform a function it wasn't designed to do. I'm 170 pounds. One leg was not designed to carry 170. Two legs were. But if one leg is damaged, the other has to pick up the slack. In a real sense, your soul is your undamaged leg, because the spirit was killed through sin. The soul has risen to the occasion, and that's not by accident. That is a strategy of the enemy. And as we continue to look at pulling back the veil of the strategy through the first half of the book, we're going to see the enemy's design and his plan to continually get every human being, whether you're Hindu, Muslim, black, white, male, female, to engage more of your exalted soul, with the intent to get you into a never-ending cycle, a pattern of chasing your tail, never catching it, but to get your life spent always searching and never finding, to get you to try to engage your exalted soul in acquiring wealth, thinking that's going to satisfy that longing, whether it's sexual appetite that's been developed, or a food addiction. All the exalted soul is behind so many things that it's going to just devastate the kingdom of darkness as people start to realize the depth of this deception and start to embrace the original design of God. And that's the book is going to design to lead you from informing you to restoring you. And I believe that a lot of physical ailments are going to be cured along the journey because it's a natural thing. If you ever notice you can cut your arm, you don't even have to try. There are certain wounds that the healing is built right into the design. There are things that you've been suffering with for years that is going to be healed. I've seen psoriasis completely disappear on legs. I myself was on benzodiazepines, like I said, for 10 years. Could not function without this medication. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't perform at work. Completely disconnected with depression from my family. These are gone. They're not in my life as this video is being recorded. This is where you're headed. This is not another book to help you to find a way to engage the kingdom of God so that you can become a better you. It's not that, but it will do that. But it's going to show you this is why God made you. This is how you were designed to function. And during the course of time, you're going to hear God, because the frequency that God is speaking on is going to come in clearer and clearer. You know, God showed me an illustration one time that it's like somebody taking paper and just keep crinkling it beside your ears and have you try to listen. But you can't, because all this cracking and popping of this paper. God's speaking to you. And this paper and this noise is just going to just leave, and you're going to hear, this is why I created you. This is the purpose for your life. All the provision is going to be laid out in front of you for the purpose. And restoration is going to be your new future. And you're going to be excited. I am. Look forward to seeing you again. Lord bless.